Welcome to Body Beat. I'm your host, Biff Biffle. In today's Auto Body News, the U.S. Senate passed Senate Resolution 154 at the request of SEMA and other affiliates to designate July 8th as Car Collector Appreciation Day. Yeah, I'm sure all the environmentalists are thrilled about that one. The European Commissioner is working on a law that would ban gas and diesel cars out of major cities by 2050. The European Union is behind the movement, which also includes short airline trips. This is all good news as long as Fred Flintstone sells me his car. Honda extends production cuts in North America to May, while Hyundai and Kia are running U.S. plants at full speed. In Detroit, there's reported record-sized tumbleweeds. California Bill 753 would force rental firms to pull recalled vehicles from their fleet. Let's hope this passes. California Senate Bill 631 would give insurance commissioners more penalty power imposed on insurance companies. Goliath. House rejects changes to bills banning EPA in California from regulating emissions. Boo. The Arizona Supreme Court has ruled that parents of minors are on the hook financially for auto accidents even if the child is violating their parents' instructions. What a cash cow that is. California has 1/5 of all U.S. questionable insurance claims. California has seen a 9% increase in suspicious insurance claims since 2000. In other news, California has 32% of the nation's welfare. And that's your Auto Body News for today. I'm Biff Biffle.
Tools. I'm not normally a guy that would rave about Snap-on because I personally think they're overpriced. But there's a couple Snap-on tools that I can't live without, and this is one of them. They're a trim panel tool. I just call them clip tools. And here's why. This right here is your standard generic clip tool, and here's a clip. And that's exactly what it's like if you were to try to take this clip off under a car, under a bumper with this clip tool. Now here's the Snap-on one. And keep in mind, this isn't the one I use. There's another one with a smaller head that I like even better than this one. But look at this. Boom. If you get a clip tool and you do production, you do a lot of R&I, get Snap-on. I'm not the one to vouch for Snap-on, but this is the best clip tool, hands down. Also, by Snap-on or Blue Point, Tubby Torx. Did I say Tubby? I meant Stubby Torx. 1/4 inch. Look how small that thing is. These things are bad. I got this for about $35 with the student discount. They're normally about $70. I wouldn't pay $70 for it, but if you're in school or you lie about it, I would get these Blue Point 1/4 inch Tubby Storks. Just playing. And these are pretty cool too, but now other companies are making these and they're just as good. But for a while, Snap-on was the only ones that made magnetic sockets. And these are great when you're working inside a door and you don't want your bolt to fall off and you put the window glue in your socket and it just gets all messy. Because that's what I used to do. I like to mention this 1/4 inch socket right here. It's basically a hex head, magnetic, and it's for little bits. And it's very useful. And in production, it's very useful with a 1/4 inch air ratchet. This is a Mac. I don't really use this for classic cars because the bolts are too strong for this. You'd be better off with the 3/8 air ratchet. But 1/4 inch air ratchet for production is very useful. And so is this little Snap-on socket. Also, it's useful gear ratchets. These are awesome. I'd get a set of metrics. You're going to be using your 8mm, your 10mm, your 12, and your 14 and 13 too. And you're going to be using those a lot. So get some of those. Also, you're going to want to get, and I'm just talking about your oddball tools. You know, obviously you know about the standard tools you should be getting, but I'm talking about the other tools. You're going to want one of these riveters. A lot of people get the air ones because this one doesn't have a head for the super huge ones that are used on like Ford trucks on their door handles. So you can't use this for the Ford trucks. You need an air one or those big ones, but these are pretty useful regardless. And then you want a plastic riveting tool as well. These are also useful. These come useful for those Charger bumpers where the bumper goes into the grill. These are useful for those. What else is useful? I just showed you this Snap-on clip tool the other day, and I was raving about how they're the best clip tools, but this isn't the best one. This one is. If you notice, they have different handles. This is the old one, and this is the new one. Initially, I had this one with this handle, but it got stolen. I wouldn't have got this one if this wasn't the cat's meow, because this one would have been good enough, but this one's too big. See the head? And I see the head on this one? This one right here is the best clip tool ever. I'll vouch for this thing any day. That's how good it is. Another tool is for moldings, and I like to use a putty knife. I went to Craigslist, or not Craigslist, Harbor Freight, and for $2 I saw this, and I sat there and went through every single one to find the most flexible one, because you know Harbor Freight, they're all going to be different. So I found this one and it was very flexible, and I like that. And basically what I'm going to do with it, I'm going to shave this off just a tad, and I'm going to bend it in my vise, and then I'm going to round these edges off. Then I'll be able to take off moldings very easily. This is only $2. This is probably the best emblem tool I've ever had. Not this one, but these kind. And then there's this tool again, the cotter pin extractor. I showed this to you recently, but I didn't show you how to use it. Let's go see how they work. This is a belt molding. And what you do is, to take these off, you first have to take off the inner door trim panel to take off the mirror, because the mirror covers the belt molding. On some of them you encounter, you have a little screw right here, but most of them just pull right up, and they lay right over a flange. So to get off this inner door trim panel, you see this little cover right here. You take this off. There's a screw right there. Most door trim panels, you'll have the little control panel that pops off, but I could see it goes under this, so this would pop off. And I'm not going to pop it off because I don't want to weaken the clips, but you pop this off, and there's more screws down here. And once I get those ones, I usually look around the outskirts and fill in the bottom, and there's no more. So what I'll do at that point is get a plastic pry tool, and then I'll pry it open on the bottom, and it'll unsnap from the clips. And as soon as it unsnaps the bottom, I do the rest by hand and just kind of yank it outwards, and then I pull up, and then it comes right off. And then you'll have your harnesses that you have to disconnect, and at that point you take this cover off, and there's 3 screws right here, probably 8 to 10 mil, and then you take the mirror out. Once you have that out, you have a lot more room to stick your hand in here, and as you can see, these belt moldings have little white clips, I often see nerds sit there with little pick tools and they'll sit there forever trying to get it out, but the insurance companies, they're not going to give you a lot of time for that. So what you do is you stick this in there, and when you have that trim panel out, you'll have a lot more room, and you dig it in between the flange and the rubber, and you kind of open it. You go along and you open it up. After you open it up, you stick both hands, one here and then maybe another hand here, and you get a good grip on it, and you twist it out this way, like that, and then it comes right out. When you're done, when it's all painted, you grab some duckbill pliers and you kind of close it up. You go along and you close it up and tighten it up, because you don't want to just stick it back on, because it might be loose. And when you tighten it up, it fits nice, and it's nice and snug. And that's how you use the cotter paint extractor to take off moldings. Now I'm challenged with the daunting task of cleaning my toolbox. I can't believe I let it get to this point. I'm cleaning my toolbox because I just got a new job, and it's a way better job than I had before. And I'm moving to production, so not only I have to organize this, I have to take out all the tools that are useless and make room for just the protection tools. And if you're wondering why I got 3 pair of goggles when they're drilling out, if you're wondering why I got 3 pair of goggles, and if you're wondering why I got 3 pair of goggles, it's because I went to the hospital 3 times and they drilled out metal particles out of my eyes each time. So it's better safe than sorry. Alright, my toolbox is finally organized. Well, let me break it down and what's going on here. The reason why I consolidated and cleaned up my toolbox was not only because I'm going to a new job, but also I'm going into commission. When you're going into commission, you want the tool that you need, and you want it at any given moment, and you don't want to look for it. Here I have my 18 volt Makita set. This is $175 at Home Depot, which is a great deal. Lithium ion, so the batteries are real small and light. Came with the drill and an impact gun. And this is a nice set. I didn't bring this to my last job because I didn't get paid enough, so pretty excited that I'll be using these every day. And it came with the charger, 2 batteries. In production, you're going to be losing some bolts sometimes, so you're going to need a good magnet. Don't get those little cheap antenna kinds. They suck. Get a nice flexible one. I got a Blue Point, I don't know, whatever the number is. But it's nice and flexible, and it has a strong magnet. I like to use Durablocks because they're not really flexy, but they're soft enough to where your paper won't clog. I love these blocks. They're amazing. I would recommend these to anybody. In here, I have all my open wrenches, my combination wrenches, I guess you'd say. All in metric. I got a 1/2 inch and a 3/8 ratchet, an adjustable one, and my gear ratchets and extensions, and my little bits right here. Blue Point, pretty awesome. And I got my breaker bar. Now, we have a look at the hammers. I had a good dagger set by Dagger Tools. Came with these 2 hammers, this hammer, and these $4, real solid dollars, all for $100. I'd recommend you
if you're gonna get a kit, get this one. This one's awesome. Got this at the swap meet for $5, and I got this at the swap meet for $5. And this is a pretty good spoon. I don't use it much, but $5, can't beat it. That's at least $60 right there. Here, I got my Viking inline tool, made in America. Woo! And this is a great tool. I like it. It runs on low air. It vibrates a little more than the IR one, but it's a great tool. And I'd get this over at IR any day. I got my Mac 1/4 inch air ratchet, but I also got a 3/8 one. And this is good. And if you're wondering why I got so many Mac tools, it's because I got the student discount, so I got this for cheap. I got everything for cheap. And this is solid. I got a lot of Harbor Freight tools in there. I got this Chicago pneumatic die grinder, a mini die grinder, and this is awesome. I love this. This thing was passed down to me from one of my mentors, and it's at least 10 years old. Probably older than that, and it's solid still. This Craftsman grinder, I'm actually going to take it back and swap it for a Blue Point. So I'm not worried about that. This Mud Hog is made by Mac, and it's pretty decent. The best Mud Hog out there is the Snap-on one, I'd say. A lot of people say Detroit, I think. National Detroit or something like that is the best one. ND. But I'd say Snap-on makes the best one, hands down. It's so smooth. It's buttery smooth. You wouldn't believe it. As far as DAs go, this is the Cat's Meow. This is my finishing DA. It's made by AirVantage, and it just feels so good in your hands. I mean, it's just perfect. It's perfect. Eventually, I want to get another throw, a 3/16 throw DA like this, and it will have a different color handle, and it will replace this DA. This is the first DA I ever had as a Craftsman. Right here are tools, or clips, that I've been collecting throughout the years. And at most body shops, they replace all the clips, most good ones. So what you want to do is you want to save your clips, and you never know when they'll come in handy. Earlier this month, I got in a car accident. I rear-ended a guy with a '96 Tacoma with my Jetta. It didn't do anything to my Jetta. It cracked the paint, but I don't care. I'm going to sell that Jetta soon, and I just don't care about it. But the fix was, all I had to do is get bumper brackets, and I realigned the bumper, because it knocked the bumper down, but it just bent the brackets. But anyhow, I offered the guy to do some extra work for him for not going through the insurance company. So what I did was I fixed the fender liner for him, and all his clips were broken, and he had those little Toyota clips right here. See these? These are Toyota clips, and he didn't have any of them in his fender liner, so I just rummaged through here for a second, and I got all the clips and threw them in there. And that's what I mean. They come in handy when you least expect it, so keep them. And also, if the boss is on your back and you're screwing up and breaking a lot of clips, you have these to fall back onto rather than saying, hey, I broke this clip, I broke that clip, blah, blah, blah.